more kind of like depth and color to their analysis, right?
That's how I felt when I got Stevenator on the mic, and then just this week, Get B-Bonked got on the mic, and B-Bonked.
Yo, B-Bonked was killing it on Monday. B-Bonked, if you're in the chat, bro. That was some beautiful color, man, and analysis. I loved that.
Yeah, it's stuff that I don't even think to look for. And he's like, oh yeah, that was on the back of, notice this little thing. I'm like, okay, I've now grown as a caster because now I've got more stuff to look out for. And so it's just great getting these high level players, as we said, on the mic to just point out some intricacies that we don't know. And now getting underway with game 3, a pretty centralized drop here. We will have a 6-game series, and GPS has to be frustrated with how that last game went down.
Yeah, always tough when you know you should be winning to take an early loss like that. And we see an aggressive drop. We saw 5 squads out of 8 guys drop left here for these Imhotep golds. Look at this map. So much space to the right, but everyone looking to make their way over to Immo, contest these golds, fighting over these little bit of creeps on the way, as Show is going to get the level 4 off of this Biome Guardian.
And I like that we do have one team there in Frag Isle. They'll have the Academy all to their lonesome if they want it, but they have to move fast. And BBL is going to be on the slowest of rotations. But that's almost what you want in this series, where placement points have so much weight to them. So it's like, take your time, let these teams get their level 6 fights out of the way. We'll be just fine. But they are going to have to really hike it or get on some bikes to get back into the zone, because we see the next circle is leaning more towards the left.
Yeah, and pulling up the map here, it looks like everyone going to kind of give up on the Immo angle except for Squaw. So they are going to find their way uncontested over there, as everyone opting to go more the level route, look for these early golds. We do see level 1s here for the side of Squaw as they finally make their way over with look like not even a car angle, just hoofing it all the way here. So a little bit of tempo to make up, but is probably going to be worth if they can find their way out of here with full golds into night 1.
And they have to make sure they're ready to fight, because GPS is there right on the cusp of where they are, right on the edge of their radius. And you got to wonder if GPS is thinking like, hey, those golds should be ours. Let's just get our relics, let's get our kicks, our grips, and let's go fight for these golds, because Squaw had such slow tempo in, and actually only 2 relics on the side of GPS.
Yeah, so they do find their way over here, but like you said, do have those grips bot likely, so it's going to be kind of like items versus armor here, as GPS maybe looking to snag a green or 2. They are going to find one here. Schmoogler opting to not grab it. That's kind of crazy. Okay, he's going to go. Oh, that's their full gold. I'm the idiot.
They got the robber raccoon.
GPS 3 golds. Oh, let's go.
And a massive dunk coming in from Dumpkiss against some level 5 Squaw. Squaw's trying to play out. The first shot hits on Uiko from Shrike, but able to dash out, just narrowly avoiding it and stalling out against the CC. Yeah, GPS, they took their time, but they made it work out for him in the end on the back of a robber raccoon.
Yeah, so I think Squaw looking to maybe call this off. Hopefully they can get like a recall over to their Krista there, find their way out. But I like the moves from GPS. They know Squaw probably going to be behind tempo. They find their way over there. Beautiful robber raccoon, actually, to secure those golds out of vault and find themselves in a fight or in a position to take that fight. As we see Show looking here onto R&B, but they are going to notice the BBC down to the right do not want to be pinched here, kiting back up, looking for a quick buy, it looks like.
That was a great rotation and call to go north, where they did have more space to go. Ultimately, no fight happening, but Shogunette was in a really, really rough spot there. And we saw BBC had level 7s on board. So if they were all kind of on the same step, they could have engaged upon Shogunette and left them hurting. Instead, they're engaging on R&B.
Looking right here, a couple pokes coming out from the Ghost Laser. Pajama Game Lord looking for the grab a little wide there, as R&B do make their way out. But BBC is sort of asserting dominance over this space and looking to continue the chase, it looks like.
Hatchlings incoming.
I like that from them, because they did have at least one early level 7. That's enough of a threat to just scare you. Populating this, I'm trying to see where all the other teams are, because ultimately the downside of only 8 teams, we do have so much space here, and Shogunette just can't help but run into other teams. They're just a magnet for this. But, oh, as they fight against Squad, going for this boss.
Big nade, gonna pull Motek off of the shark there. He's going to get a nice bump back with the bread shield, forcing Show out for a sec. Show looking to continue, though, as they have ults. They see Squad do not. They really want this fight. Iberico in with the R&B charge. Squad continuing to kind of kite back here. Knows they maybe don't want this because Zoe on the flank. Level 6 on there for them as well. So Show still kind of advantage here. Looking, trying to force it to trade. Oh, what? What did I just see?
I don't know if they just fell, but I do want to point out that Zoe's picking a fight, and they don't really have a lot in the way of relics. Shogun is still having a dodge, though. They've ultimately run into Squaw, choosing to continue the fight against them. Iberico on the hunt as they see Chefo ran into the other two. Going to call back for his team, but the team is not there. The damage is from Yowaiko. Yowaiko ends up dropping them, and it's a 1-for-1 as Dylan goes down in the south, and Zoe is just going to continue running.
Yeah, so unfortunate kind of split there from Show. It looked like a little bit of miscommunication with the Zeph. The Zeph finds himself in the 1v2 as the other two chase that kill down. They are going to get the kill, but they trade the Zeph for it. So a 1-for-1 as fighting continues down to Manacoil's GPS looking for R&B. This Fox is just roasting on the backline, though. Tadpole trying to get him off, but is it going to be enough? Hero looking to follow up, and the golden beam from Jay locking in the kill. And the downtown snipe from Hero trying to find the last member on their way out. Oh, Dumpk is still alive to the south here, though.
That, I don't know how that didn't spike, because they were gliding when they took that ion cannon, and it was just barely not enough damage to ultimately spike that strike. Still, though, great job from R&B fighting so well on the start with that Felix ult in that narrow corridor to hurt even the mighty GPS. And now Zoe's still only level 6s in day 2. Same with Help. Oh no, Help, sorry, they have their levels. But Zoe's got to make something happen here.
Yeah, really, at this point, if you are still on anywhere close to level 6, 7, you need to be prioing camps. You need to be finding that day 2 XP to get to this level 9. At the very least, ults online. And Show and BBL looking to contest these level 9 camps here. We do see BBL a little ahead on the level tempo, looking to follow up. Maybe Fluffyon looks for the entry. Iberico shifting forward, finds the grapple, going to get iframed by the ultimate. Huge Tonk coming out from Vivo, putting Brawl into the wall. He is going to be able to trade the damage back, though, with the LB as tips out, following up. Huge shifts forward, multiple empowered shots onto Jay Rupagata there. Is going to be able to finish off the Bibo, giving Show advantage.
Ipsout has been playing so well, and I'll talk about that in a minute as Yowaiko goes on the hunt. Proxy having to ulti out on the Bishop right there. Now it's Monty left by their lonesome. They try to take the portal, and no, it ends up being Squaw that takes the portal alongside them. Monty drops, but the remaining members of Zoe go down, or get out. Sorry.
We do see Night Stalker's Soul hovered here, and HLP positioning very aggressively around it, have a bit of space, but we do see BBL and Show kind of duking out to their south, and R&B with BBC fighting down here in Manacoils. Again, Kazaro getting kind of caught there in the stun. Jay trading with the golden beam, getting some space for his Firefox. Really nice support there as Hero continues trading damage, has them on some nice wall angles here if he can find a nade. He looks it.
Big grenade coming out from the Ghost, and a huge rotation coming in. The ult dropping the Abyssal Breaker, but Pajama Game Lord getting out with just a fraction of health, and now the grenade on to the ult, who is still able to escape. Isolarm continuing to also run north, and just RMB hit everything but did not continue the fight right there, and somehow BBC able to escape narrowly with their lives.
Yeah, nice fight from the side of BBC. Love the nade angle. Look from the Ghost, not quite able to follow up on the kills, but put enough pressure to force him out. We see Meteor Beast getting traded across the map. GPS taking this one. Looking as well for this fight, maybe against R&B positioned in the vault here. Always a tricky spot, kind of fighting around these tight chokes in a vault with that vulnerable circle in the middle. Show finding a knock onto BBL. It looks like under pressure to the right here. These guys have been scrapping it out for a while on this bottom right side of the map. HLP just free farming to the north. We do see a kill go through for Show, as a little bit of breathing room now for R&B, but multiple teams, Twin, kind of looking to move into this next shift.
And I want to take a step back and give a shout outs to Jay there on Mercury, because Mercury, for being a support, doesn't have a lot of healing options in the end. It's more of like a one and done, but that ult was massive to help out the Felix. And then immediately when Felix gets out of the fight, still hurt, drops the potion on top or the elixir on top and continues the healing. So all of a sudden, all the work that was done was immediately negated because Jay just saved the cooldowns for those clutch moments. And now they're up against BBC again, who's actually getting pincered by GPS, who is not a team you want to see.
Yeah, I like GPS, like always playing a little more split, looking for, oh, the grab though, they're gonna lock it in. BBC, can they get this stuns through? The nade actually forcing Schmoogler out, but huge follow-up with the Abyssal Breaker. BBC, beautiful, engaged. Dumbkiss has something to say about it though. Dragon Staff Slam from the back, looking to still fight this out in the 1v3 with teammates down, finds a 6-way onto Pajama Game Lord, but is gonna finally call it off in the end. Beautiful fight from BBC.
Love the way they stacked and rotated around each other. No rest for the Wicked, though, as now R&B says you didn't get your cooldown resets. Continues the fight, but the R&B coming out of R&BJ did not connect, and BBC able to escape. Shogunate, though, finding their way into help. Help, once again, not having the strongest of engages. Will dropping the dunk onto nothing, and Pisces Paladin desperately running away. Feathers and dodges the Zephyl, but Iberico, such a speedy hunter, and look at that. GPS went down first, followed by Help. GPS out 8.
Dude, another kind of low placement for GPS after looking really strong in these fights. R&B continuing to posture here, looking very strong themselves this game. And now it's Squaw pinched. Beautiful third from BBC. Another really opportune moment from them. Gonna find a pick, gonna put all of Squaw on the back foot. We see Jewel of the North, Krista way out to the right. Going to be in tatters here.
And I love seeing this from BBC, just hunting for those third parties and those positionings. And we saw with the fight earlier, when they got third partied on, they just moved. They waited a moment. They fought on the back foot and survived. And we're seeing more and more of these teams do it. And Friday, when you tune in, look for Sus. Sus has been the king of third and fourth parties in this lobby. And I love that these teams are acknowledging that's the way to play a battle royale. And so I'm excited to see BBC play the remainder of this match with that mentality.
Love it. And like the more you play SUPERVIVE, the more you realize how important the third party is. Like it is, especially as you get down to less and less squads with a tighter and tighter circle. Playing the third party effectively and sort of counterplaying against it, being ready for it, becomes sort of quintessential to actually winning the game at these higher kind of tier lobbies. So love to see it. We do see Squaw maybe a little bit of an overcommit here onto Amorius. Teams on both sides. BBC looking for the engage to the right. Big tonk into the wall, followed with the Abyssal Breaker. It is going to get secured for BBC as now Squaw caught in the middle still. We see trying to make their way out to the south. Big Dragon Staff Slam for Fluffyon over the top. Squaw Motek looking to hold front line for Yowaiko. Still alive on that Jewel. Actually doing a really nice job for Squaw to kite it out here as BBL maybe over chasing onto the brown team while BBC just chip at the side. Pajama Game Lord looking for the follow-up. Go for a grab here. He's gonna, barely whiffing on Fluffyon there as BBL make their way out.
And do you notice what BBC did there? They never put themselves in the middle. Any chance they had to potentially overcommit, they took a half step back. They wanted to stay on the outskirts of the fight, and they did that so well. And now they're in this great positioning, borderline center circle, and everybody has to push their way into them, and they're just keeping this rotation so nobody's behind them, and they dictate the third, fourth parties. Like, that was just so well macroed by BBC again.
I love this. I just saw Severed Russ in chat. Ain't no party like a third party. Little Nick Cannon shout out. I'm gonna use that. I like that a lot.
I'm definitely borrowing that line. That's so good.
As we might see multiple third parties, but no, don't need it with a downtown grab from BBC. Beautiful pick onto Jay there. They want to force the issue now on to the rest of R&B. Looking to follow up with that one kill. Napalm down from behind. Nice zoning from Isolarm there. Bright Shield out from Hestia. Going to get broken. Kazaro, or Caverzo looking to kind of trade with the shield pull on multiple members. Oh no! So Hero gets caught to the south between two squads. It's just going to be the Firefox left for R&B.
So that's kind of rough because Hero is actually a new pickup for R&B. As of today, I think he ended up swapping teams, and so they haven't had a whole lot of time to practice, still making it work. And now Shogunat versus BBL, and a spike comes out, or a Sheppo chased a little too far, and BBC picks up another, and now there's just 2 remaining members for Shogunat and BBL, but BBL kind of in shambles right now.
Yeah, just such, I mean, really, really scrappy fights. Wait, somehow this is illegal. Caverzo is going to get engaged on by Squaw here. So close there. Going to get caught by the Krista ulti, trying to live. Fight of the Firefox out right into the arms of BBC, though. Another opportunity for them to find a squad wipe, and they do. Ice Alarm shift over the top, and they are going out at 6th.
I did like what I saw from the Felix. I want to say they had a thermal suit because they got spiked into the lava and didn't take any extra damage. So that's one of those things more and more of these players have been picking up on, is what perks can I buy to give us that slight edge? We see lava, we have thermal suits, and even though it didn't work out for them, it was a nice little pickup as we do have an engage.
Ooh, an Abyssal Breaker out. So much damage, though, onto the side of Squaw. Really well fought from BBC on that initial gauge. Squaw trading damage back, though. Now Dylan looking for the re-entry on the Krista. Has to be careful, though. Kingpin on the other side. Pajama Game Lord looking to find that spike. Is going to lock it in with the grapple. Kind of beautiful look there from BBC to turn onto the split out member, find that pick, and put Squaw on the back foot with 2.
And I like that repositioning from BBC because they did take a lot of damage. We're going to talk about that in a second.
Oh.
Don't spike, but somehow lands back onto solid ground. Proxy with the hook saying there's no escape. And this is free kills for you because they're both in overheat. Oh, with Sunders, you've got to figure out some kind of rotation. Possible train?
Train res, Sunders, go, go, go. No! Oh. So that's Vision Cone in play. Sunders not kind of even seeing that from behind before he gets spiked there. Unfortunate, looking for that train res, not quite able to get it through as the violence continues with 4 squads left. Twin closing in on this final circle. Everyone at full force except for BBL on the left here, but Fluffion grabbing the crown.
Fluffion has his build online again, so we're going to see lots of movement, lots of staffs, lots of dunks. He's probably feeling pretty safe. That's an illegal box res, but here comes the dunk. Once again from Fluffion. Third party is on the scene, though, from Shogunat. Tips out, who does not miss these empowered shots. Pushes them out into the storm, and that island is only a temporary reprieve. So BBL trying to find where they can go. And look at the rotations coming out from the brawl.
Yeah, we see Fluffion trying to get the angle for the dunk onto Iberico there. Not quite able to find it. So he's just going to kite it out to the south a little bit more, look to play more time. Squaw kind of in the middle here. Got to be careful with this position as BBC look to force the issue. They are going to do it. Abyssal Breaker out, trying to defend their territory, but Motek's going to get forced off right into BBL down here. Beautiful ulti, though, from Dylan on the Krista. Big pressure out the train. Motek in slow motion. Can't avoid it. Saw his life flash before his eyes 3 times in a row with all that time. In the end, goes down the train.
And look at this position again from BB. Oh, he's back up! And there we go, Motek. Sorry, Motek trying to make some moves. How did he get up?
I actually, something with the Q? I don't know. Because doesn't the train just put you in box?
I thought so, but I don't know. I guess maybe they were able to pull off some kind of Christmas
did they
Day
get a Morius?
miracle.
Was it something like that? I don't know. Anyways, Squaw's back. Motek's back. We'll figure that out later. Violence continuing, though, as Ice Alarm finds a pick onto BBL. BBL under big pressure here as BBC continue to kind of run the lobby, finding another pick onto the Bebo. Now Fluffion, another crown in play for the Wukong.
And I'm loving what I'm seeing out of the roommates right here, which is BBC just positioning around the outside of the circle, finding themselves engaged against by Squaw. The hook does come out, though. Motek able to pop the shield, and Iberico looking for a third party. Here comes the Abyssal Breaker, though, and I like this BBC rotating around, but Shogunat also rotate alongside them, and BBC finds themselves pinched. They're going to have to fight their way out, but who are they going to fight into?
Actually, so tough here. Big warp found. Really nice movement from BBC there. I think a little slow on the crunch from both Squaw and Show. I like the idea from Show with the positioning. They find the grab onto the crown, but the iframe cancels the slam. Worst enemy of the grab, but oh, hell. Can Ice Alarm find the finish? And he does. Huge for BBC. Another squad wipe.
And as I was saying, the work that these guys have put in. It's two roommates, Isolarm and Pajama Game Lord, and then Hestia. They've been theory crafting, they've been thinking, they've been talking about how can they play better constantly around the clock, and it's showing up right here as they engage massive damage. The dunk comes in against the open. He didn't have a chance to play as Shogunat takes on Dylan in the north. Now Shogunat turning their attention towards BBC. But Umberco diving in and eating a Ghost Ult, eating the Storm, and eating all the damage in the world. Crown picked up by Yoaiko, though, and Hook goes just a little to the right, giving them some ear music right there. And across the nose, but not up it, as Squaw now on the aggression against BBC, and BBC having to run away from these two members.
Last two members of show on the south here. One's going to get caught from BBC. Beautiful fights from BBC all game this game. We saw just a immaculate napalm from Isolarm there as Tips Out pushed in on the Shiv, just roasts him mid-fusillade animation with that napalm, looking to finish off now this Crown from Squaw before they go after the final Shiv. It looks like Dylan's going to be one. He is going to get taken out. Just going to be Yoaika left with the Jewel. Shift out to the north here with the ultimate. Has a little bit of space to play for, really wants to outplace and force Shogunat into the arms of BBC. They're on a Crown 2 to win, so 2 crowns for Sol BC.
Comes out though, as does the dash. Oh, Shogunat able to get the Shogunat getting the crown off of Yoaiko, somehow making it happen, and KP having to run away with no armor, no health, as Shogunat has all their cooldowns up and ready to make a move. Mana's looking good, and it looks like Pajama Game Lord able to make some moves there. Umberco, no health, and here comes the healing in as they're trying to make something happen. Hestia, the only one with armor right now, and all the damage reduction that might matter. Huge Zeph grenade coming out, along with a nuke, along with the napalm, and all of a sudden, KP separated from his team. Here comes the Zeph ult. Isolarm goes down, and Shogunat holding down the W key, keeping that aggression alive, and Shogunat on the back of what was a surefire loss.
Wait, they're gonna get the rest.
Making a miracle.
They got it. He's up on the north.
Oh my gosh, he got the ult res.
BBC not dead yet. Shogun playing out of their minds, though, somehow contesting this against BBC, who's been looking unstoppable. And in the end, will the oath res make a difference? It looks like it won't, because Show asserting dominance after the clutch Tips Out crown steal the moment he needed to find the angle. He gets the last shot on the enemy crown, knocks them out in third, brings his whole team back, puts Show in a place where they can contest BBC,